Yo, what's up guys? I'm back with another video, and this time I'm going to be talking about tips to make a powerful faction on Minecraft and possibly other games. Not really Minecraft in general, but this is well, I guess this is mainly pointed towards Minecraft, but some of the stuff I say can be used in other games. Alright, so let's start off. Tip number 1. Establishing a core. Now this is very important. This is what I did with Nightmare, and this is what a lot of factions, how they start out, is you want to get your core of mods. That's your core of like starter players that you pick up, or not really pick up, just friends you know that you trust and that are good all around players. Now these players will then be used to find their friends. It'll be kind of like a chain, like everyone will be linked together in the end, but you want to get your mods or your friends that you trust to get their friends that they trust, so you all come together as like a strong bond. So it's not just like you pick up some kids off practice 2 you don't even know and they don't listen to you, they don't trust you, like there's no faith in that, and they won't listen to the leader. So you just want to make sure you have a strong core, and that's pretty much tip number 1. I'm gonna go on to tip number 2 now. Thanks. Alright guys, this is gonna be tip number 2. This one's pretty practical. It's just playing on practice 2 with your team. Now this is very important, and not only just getting better, like just better aim and getting better at PvP, but it's good for communication. You want to practice grouping, you want to practice making callouts, who to focus. You want to see who quick drops, who stays in the fights the whole time, and just people have good pot management and who just do well in team fights. Now you'll be able to see this by whether or not they're grouping correctly, and practice 2, it really does help you get like good at grouping because it's in a small area and you're able to just see who's not in the group most of the time. Now I found this very effective. I started doing this map 17. I never really did this map 13 because I don't think they even had practice 2, but map 17, when I started to pick up my power faction and made them a lot better, we did this a lot, and I saw it was really effective and it helped the faction out overall. And so yeah, grouping is very important. Playing on practice 2 as a team is very important to establish that communication and that bond that you need to make the most powerful faction on the server. Alright, off to the next tip. Alright guys, I'm back with tip number 3, and this one's just going to be talking about pretty much, I mean, I always hear people say, oh my god, my faction's not good, they all suck. Well, see, sometimes you gotta look at it from a different perspective. Is it you making your faction bad? Are you the reason behind like your faction not doing good? Like, you gotta think of it that way. You think of strategies. I always would be thinking of strong strategies to help my faction out. I wouldn't just be selfish and say, oh, my faction sucks, I do my best and no one ever listens. No, you gotta think of stuff outside of the box, stuff no other faction does. Like, I'll get into that probably in my next tip, but the thing is, you can't blame it on your faction. Try mixing things up, think of new things to do. Like, for example, map 17 and I think it was 21, I would go into Conquest from the top of Conquest. You see people running Conquest from the regular gates, I would pre-potted, I'd pearl over up on top of Conquest, and I'd jump down on them so they're not even ready for the team fight, and it makes them scramble and waste lots of pots, allowing us to focus them and possibly even win the fight a lot easier. So you gotta think of things outside the box that will help you win those team fights that you just can't win. So off to the next tip. Alright, so this will be my next tip, but it's pretty much 2 tips combined in one. The first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be quick and short. It's don't pick up kids off practice 2. Like, yes, there are some good kids on practice 2 that do have good experience, but most of the time you're just going to get these skids that have no experience on Koei. They just sweat out on practice 2 all day, clicking their finger off till they can't click anymore, until they get freaking whatever it's called, carpal tunnel or whatever you want to call it. See, that's not the key. You want to pick up people of experience, like maybe even 1,100 elo to 1,300 elo, and then test those people and see if it helps your faction. Also, actually, I'm gonna just cut this and go on to my next tip, because I feel that this next tip is very important for your faction, and this will change the direction, so to speak, for your faction. Alright, off to the next one.